Hola, Colombia. I'm going to start by teaching you a little thing that Adam Smith taught us a long time ago. Money is not wealth. Wealth is capital. Wealth is all the things that give value to society. Money is information. The reason we have Bitcoin is not so that we can have an asset that we hoodle. It is not so that you can have another form of speculative asset. It is not digital gold. I did not create BitGold. I did not create eGold. I created electronic, peer-to-peer, digital cash. Cash has to be used. It has to be spent. Every time we split into sidechains, we take away a little bit about what secure is the network. Every time we do that, it becomes less secure. Every time we create an altcoin, less secure. Every competing option that takes something from the overall network makes this once in a lifetime, once in any part of history experiment less viable. Bitcoin differs in that it's the only scarce good that has truly existed. Gold wasn't. So there's a reason IOTA hasn't actually done anything or scaled or anything like that. It's because it can't. So everyone loves to hype it because that's getting them money. It's getting them quick money. They haven't actually created a solution. So what are we going to scale to? Well, next year, terabytes, then bigger. That simple. And I don't really care if people say not everyone can run a Raspberry Pi, because the whole concept here is, who cares? Equality sucks. And I'll say that one again, equality sucks. We're not equal. We have different abilities. Everyone shouldn't be equal. That's called Marxism. It failed. Give it up. The smallest transistor, well, I've probably been superseded already, but I've got a paper coming out on this, and the editors picked out that I made a mistake because I said a 2 nanometer transistor, and it turns out there's now a 1 nanometer transistor. When all this happened, people were arguing because of quantum tunneling, this is impossible. At 6 nanometers, it will never be done. Guess what? It's been done. So stop this, oh, we can't do it. Oh, everything's bad idea. The reality is we need to start being optimistic, positive, build, allow competition, allow free access to code, allow people to actually start competing, not building little walled bloody gardens. What we're going to actually create is a replacement for the internet. The internet becomes a sidechain. I don't care how, as a peer network, you distribute your data. I care that you distribute it. If you have hand cache, or near field, or IP, or private networks, or X25, it's a value network. The entire global system connected commercially. We have small goals. We don't think of big things in N-chain.
You have people that, basically people like us that actually listen to what Craig is saying. We can act on this information because he's genuinely explaining things, and he's doing it in this weird sort of high-level way where like actually he's still being completely ignored by the entire rest of the cryptocurrency industry. So what I'm doing that I'm gradually realizing, holy shit, I have like years on these people because they aren't listening to any of these things, okay? So what I'm going to explain is this cool idea I had that, well, this isn't my idea at all. What it is Craig has been talking about this for frickin' ever. And even though I'm working on this and understand all these things, even I didn't understand what he was talking about until it finally clicked with me. So I'm going to explain this stuff first because you can start to understand how we're going to build MetaNet and how your business can fit into all of this stuff, and the software that you write plays a role in all these things. Okay, who knows the history of Turing completeness of Bitcoin? Let me briefly tell you. Okay, here's my understanding of the history of Turing completeness on Bitcoin. Craig invents Bitcoin. doesn't explain anything to anybody, just puts the code out there. And 5 years later, he does an interview he's on this like panel with a Bitcoin Bell and just says Bitcoin is Turing complete. He just says it. And Nick Staub was like, "You're an idiot." It's like that's their response to this information, right? It's like, what should be like, really, tell me more about the node. Come on, you should write a paper on that. You're clearly dismissing the whole idea, right?
Or the water.
No, I have not heard that opinion before. I've never heard anybody call the Bitcoin script Turing complete. I don't believe that's accurate.
He just said you're wrong.
The difference is the script itself isn't. What you can do is you have in fork a control loop. So the looping function is separate to the actual loop, the script itself.
Yeah, I mean that's an esoteric thing. If it's not Turing complete, then it's not a general purpose language like Ethereum, regardless of
but that would
that
assume
partial
that the only way of actually
type of
writing code would be to do it directly in a script that runs on the machine.
Hey, do you have another option?
Well, this would be a good topic for you to write a paper on, because that's certainly an unconventional view you have.
How can this be that Bitcoin is Turing complete and all these people are saying that it isn't, and that Ethereum is better than Bitcoin because it's Turing complete? Because they didn't actually understand. So anyway, Clemens figures this out. This is how we get in touch with Inchain. I'm not going to tell the story and all that stuff, but the point is, later on, finally, this information is years and years and years go by, and nobody has figured this stuff out until Craig finally starts dumping the little bits and pieces out there that allow people who are paying attention to figure out what he's talking about and fit all of the pieces together and understand how much bigger this system is than anybody previously realized. Okay? And it makes all of these altcoins look so silly. So I'm going to explain what I figured out that's based on everything Craig was saying. How do you make it Turing complete? You add a loop. Where's the loop in Bitcoin? There's no looping construct. They just think it's not there. It's because they don't understand. So where the loop is inside of a payment channel, built in since day one from the very beginning. Okay? The way you do this is you have an output that is a script. Scripts return values. Another thing that no one ever used, ever. The output returns something, not just money, but information. It's there. Okay? When the script executes, the stack is still there. What's at the end? There's a stack there. There's data there. You can put stuff in it. It's information. You can take the information and the return value of the output, plug it into the input of the subsequent transaction, feed it back in again in a payment channel. You're looping the same script over and over again. Okay? It's the same script with data being passed back into it over and over again as you update the payment channel. That's the outer loop. Okay? We are 10 years into Bitcoin. Mike Hearn was trolled out of the industry by the people that created the multi-$100 billion problem we have right now, which is the vast overvaluation of every altcoin. They look so stupid when you understand these things. Why did people invent Ethereum and pitch it as a Turing complete Bitcoin when it's... Didn't you know that Bitcoin is Turing complete? They didn't know.
We want to see a South America where people can sell everything they have for as much as they can, so that their families can get education, so that their children can live better. I want to see that extra few percent so that people know where to go to get a little bit more, so that they can build wealth. Not another ICO that does nothing, but to be able to sell their crops in a tokenized market, so that they can go out there on real exchanges and sell their produce. And that will be the token. The token will be a future sale. That's what futures were. We want to bring every small producer the opportunity to have a peer interaction, to allow other people to invest in your crop. We want people to invest in your future harvest. We want people to invest as you're bringing in a lot of fish, different restaurants can bid for them, and you can get them there as quickly as possible. We want a peer market so that not a big Uber, but individuals can go out there not paying 50% of what they earn to Uber, but themselves here in this country can know, I can go to the coast, I can pick up these fish, I can deliver them to this restaurant, and I will earn money, not some big American company. That's the difference in my vision. That's what peer means. It doesn't mean everyone runs a node, because miners will compete to do that. That's what competition is. They will build a system that gets closer and closer to the minimal level of profit that allows them to operate. That's what happens with specialization. You don't want to be a miner unless you have a lot of money to invest, because like airlines, the profit margin in the future on these multi-billion-dollar industries will be minuscule. You want to live your own life and have your own kids and your own family, build a future, one where you can pay for information straight away, one where you don't need to be afraid of corruption, one where you can be safe. Because if you're not safe, and if you have to put up with corruption, you're not free. Forget all these stories about freedom by owning your own node. You're free because you're safe. You're free because your family's safe. You're free because you know that you're going to be okay tomorrow. This whole it's decentralized bullshit, it's absolute crap. It's not about democratizing finance. You can't actually do that with Bitcoin or Ethereum or any derivative system here. It's actually about a stable protocol that no one can change. The whole way that you decentralize, as everyone says, is you pull the developers from ever making a change. You do the exact opposite of what Silicon Valley and that bloody cancer of society allows, and you take away the power of developers. You let them build on top of the protocol, and you don't allow a single developer to ever have a say in what happens ever again, because they are the cancer in Bitcoin. They are the cancer in society. See, what people don't understand is Bitcoin with a stable protocol takes away power. If no one can change the protocol, not me, not God, there's no power in money. Money is all about power. And this is one of the things Bitcoin has done. It has removed that power. It will remove that power globally.